Hey, what's up, everybody? Ralph here. So I came across this article on CNBC. The title was 1 in 5 home sellers are now dropping their asking price as the housing market cools. Now, this was something I was worried about because back in July, we finally closed on a home that we were selling. But, when it came to, putting it on the market, and at the time, I'm telling you, at the time back in May, it was hot. Obviously, there was low supply, a lot of demand. So if you had a house that was selling at that time, it was not staying on the market long. So I think I put the property on the market around like May 2nd, and like 3 days later, it was under contract. But the crazy thing was, obviously, there was obviously fears of recessions coming on, and they were talking about the Fed's hiking up the interest rate. So at the time, I was like, we really need to get this house sold before things get really crazy in terms of like recessions and interest rate hikes. So it's funny because once you get into contract, there's certain dates that that need to be met. So you write up the contract and they say, oh, by this date the buyer has to get a loan commitment, and then a week later you get the closing. So when we finally closed, that was a week after we were legally written to legally contract to actually close on a date. But before that, when it was leading up to that, I was a little worried because I was like, so did they get approved for a loan, or is this thing gonna happen? Because I was worried. I was thinking about a recession. I was thinking about interest rate hikes, because obviously I was like, if this doesn't go through, then I'm gonna have to put it back on the market. And obviously, if they're gonna raise interest rates and there's recessions, then there's gonna be a less likely chance of my house being sold, and less people are gonna get have a chance to get approved for a loan. So these are all the things that were going in my head. But luckily for me, house sold, and I didn't have to worry about. But it's just funny coming across this article. Now as interest rates are hiking and there's recession fears, now you see a little bit of cooling down on the housing market. So I'm gonna quickly read this article, and then I'll break down what's going on. So it says, all right, so home sellers are getting nervous as the once hot housing market cools fast. 1 in 5 sellers in August dropped their asking price, according to Realtor.com. A year ago, that share was just 11%. Now, the average home sold for less than its list price for the first time in over 17 months during the 4-week period ending August 28. According to a report by Redfin. Homes are simply not selling at the breakneck pace that they were 6 months ago. When strong demand butted up against tight supply, bidding wars were the norm, and a seller could often get a signed contract in under a weekend. That's crazy. Homes in August sat on the market on average 5 days longer than they did a year ago, the first annual increase in time on the market in over 2 years. Now, I can attest to that because, like I said, when we put the market, on May 2nd, about 3 days later, we had one offer, and then the next day another offer came, and we were under contract. And that's the thing. It was not staying on the market long, and that's when everybody, obviously supply was low, demand was so high. Everybody was trying to get a property, and everybody was trying to rush to get a property before interest rate hikes, recessions. Everybody wanted a property because there just weren't a lot of property there. Lucky for me, it was like a half duplex, so it wasn't that that expensive of a house, but it was sold over $20,000 over asking price. But a lot of people were trying to get their hands on property, and at the time, obviously, property prices, home prices so expensive, being able to get a good deal, find a property that's within the range of affordability, even though it's a smaller house, a lot of people were jumping on. So the supply of homes for sales is also rising fast, up nearly 27% from a year ago, even as fewer sellers decide to list. Pending sales in July, which represent signed contracts on existing homes, and which are the most recent sales deal available, were nearly 20% lower than July 2021, according to National Association of Realtors. For many of today's buyers, the uptick in for-sale home options is taking away the sense of urgency that they felt during the past 2 years when inventory was scarce, said Daniel Hale, chief economist of Realtor.com. As a result of this shift, coupled with higher mortgage rates, competition continued to cool in August, with listing price trends indicating that home shoppers are tightening their purse. And like I said, because the feds are increasing the interest rates, it's making loans more expensive. And the thing is, even though the interest rates are going up, and housing prices still, are going down, they still haven't gone down as much as needed, because as interest rates increase, you're still buying a home, more expensive home at a higher interest rate. So it's going to make it more expensive. So I think a lot of people waiting for it to come down as interest rates continue to go up. So obviously people waiting, people are like, let's see what happens. It's making housing less affordable. So I think people are waiting to see it come down even more, especially as interest rates go up. And that's the goal of why they want to increase interest rates. With inflation, they want to reduce the demand and increase the supply. So The median listing price in August dropped to 435,000 from 449,000 in July. That's a lot, because I think I remember seeing a report not too long ago. It was like the average home, the median listing price was like 419. So the fact that it was 449, now it dropped to 435,000. I mean, housing prices are still pretty expensive, right? So I think a lot of people are waiting for that number to come down a little bit more before they really start to jump into it. So mortgage rates have been rising since January, hitting a recent high in June and then falling back slightly in July and much of August. They are, however, rising again and are now nearly matching the June high. Redfin reported that requests for home tours and other home buying services from its agents at the end of August was down 16% from the same period the year before. Touring activity was also down 9% from the start of the year, compared with 11% increase at the same time last year, according to home tour technology company. The post-Labor Day slowdown will likely be a little bit more intense this year than in previous years when the market was super tight, said Daryl Fairweather, Redfin's chief economist. Expect homes to linger on the market, which may lead to another small uptick in the share of sellers lowering their prices. So basically, what people are doing, like they're waiting for home prices obviously to come down, because as the Feds continue to increase the interest rates, the demand for houses is going to decrease, and hopefully that increases the supply. So a lot of these things are just supply and demand, right? So you want to bring down demand and increase supply, which will help lower the prices. So I think for a lot of people, they're waiting for home prices to go down, especially as interest rates come up. So for me, like if you're someone that's like saying, all right, is it a good time to buy now? Like a lot of people tell you, like, don't look to buy now, wait probably, between, 6 months, 6 to 12 months. Like for me, I'm gonna check, I'm gonna wait for like next year to see how home prices are, because obviously when interest rates are gonna be pretty high, but I want to see if home prices come down, at a lower level than what it is now. So if there's someone that's looking to buy now, I would probably wait. And hopefully next year, just keep an eye on that, and see if it's something, if it goes down to a level, a price that you can afford. So yeah, so that's all I got for you guys today. So if you got any comments or questions, make sure to leave a comment down below, hit the like button, share, and please do not forget to subscribe. Right? So you guys take care and have a good one. Later.